small, battered New Testament that hadn't been edited by my father's red pen. I opened it to the book of Matthew. "Let the little children come to me, and do not hinder them." I stared at the words until they blurred. My father didn't let me come to God. He stood in the doorway and blocked the light. He had spent years telling me that God was a judge with a ledger, waiting for me to trip so he could strike. But this sounded like someone who would have held my hand instead of bruising it. That evening, I didn't polish his shoes. I sat on the porch and watched the sunset, the orange light bleeding into the Lago skyline. When he came home, the air in the house curdled. "Samuel," he said, the belt already sliding through the loops, "you have neglected your duties. A son who honors not his father is a son who finally sees him," I interrupted. The silence was deafening. My father stopped, his hand hovering over the buckle. He looked at me as if I had suddenly grown a second head. "You dare use your tongue to defy the head of this house?" "You aren't the head, Papa," I said, my voice shaking but holding its ground. "You're just the guard. You've spent 16 years beating verses into me so I wouldn't notice that you don't have a single drop of the spirit in you." He took a step forward, his face turning a dark, bruised purple. "I am saving your soul from the fire." "No," I said, standing up. I was nearly his height now, though half his weight. "You're just feeding your own pride. You use the name of Jesus to do the devil's work and you call it discipline. But I read the book for myself today. The God in there doesn't look like you. He doesn't smell like fear." He raised the belt, but for the first time I didn't flinch. I didn't drop to my knees. I looked him dead in the eye, and I saw it. The flicker of a man who realized his power was an illusion built on the silence of a child. "If you hit me tonight," I whispered, "it won't be a sacrifice. It will be a crime, and I will tell the elders. I will tell the deacon. I will tell everyone that the pillar of St. Mark's is hollow inside." His hand trembled. The belt dangled useless. He saw that the rod had finally snapped. He backed away, mumbling something about my hard heart, but the spell was broken. I left that house that night. I didn't have a penny, and I didn't have a plan. But as I walked down the street, the night air felt like the first clean breath I had ever taken. I realized then that the hardest part of being raised in a holy house isn't the pain, it's the unlearning. It's realizing that the scars on your back don't belong to God. They belong to a man who was too small to love without a weapon.